Hello and welcome to Board Game Gumbo. Today we're unboxing Paper Tales by Stronghold Games. This is a game for 2 to 5 players that plays in about 30 minutes. There's an expansion to this game if you'd like to play it solo. It adds a solo component to the game. This is mostly a card drafting game. Very similar, at least in some respects, to Seven Wonders. So here we have our rule book explaining to you the different aspects of the cards and the different phases of the game. We have a collective player board, which just tracks victory points and also the round of the game, because each round the direction that you draft in changes. We've got some Punchboard. So there is money in this game. That's how you essentially get your units out, is by paying a certain amount of money. So there's cardboard tokens for the money. And then there's these age tokens. All of your units age at the end of the round. And then when they have a certain number of age tokens on them, they'll actually get removed from your tableau. So we've got just some different player pieces here. This is the round tracker. That'll just go on the board like so, and then different player pieces to track your score. And then finally, the rest of the game, most of the game, is the cards themselves. So there are 2 types of cards in the game. There are building cards, and then there are creature cards. So everybody has access to the same building cards, which look like this. This is their level 2 side. So every player is going to start without any buildings, but they will have access to the same buildings. And when you build them, you'll build them on their 1 side, although you can potentially build them on their 2 side immediately, and they'll score you a certain amount of victory points. Each building has a requirement. So this one, to build a level 1, requires 1 wood. To build a level 2 requires a wood and a food. You could build this directly to a level 2 by paying 2 wood and 1 food, in which case you would have both benefits from the card. You can only build once per round, and there's only 4 rounds. So what buildings you get out and how quickly you get them out is an important part of the game. So the barracks, for instance, does 2 things. It can give you additional combat, depending on the wood, and then it can give you victory points for every unit in your kingdom with 3 or more strength. But also, when you build it on its level 2 side, it gives you an additional spot to put out units. At the beginning of the game, you're only going to be able to put out 4 units, 2 frontline units and 2 backline units. Once you have a level 2 barracks, you can put out 5 units with 3 in the front and 2 in the back. And then there's other buildings as well. This one, the town, just gives you additional resources. So you build it a level 1 for 1 wood, and then it gives you a wood and a meat. Resources are just things that you have to meet the requirements of. You don't get, resources that you then spend later on. And again, any level 2 building, not just the barracks, but any level 2 building gives you that 5th spot. So that's something you're going to be looking to do pretty soon. Then you have just little cheat sheets for the different player colors. The most important part is the round structure, which is here. So recruitment is the drafting phase, where you're going to look at 5 cards, pass them around until you end up with 5. Actually, I believe it's 6. You look at 6 and you end up with 5. Then you're going to deployment, which is you're going to put your units out and pay for them if they have a cost. Then you're going to fight your neighbors. So the person to the left and the right of you, you're going to see if you have more strength than them. If you do, you're going to earn a certain amount of victory points. You have an income phase where you'll get back gold. Then you have your construction phase where you can build a building. And then your aging phase, when you're going to put aging tokens on your units. And then if they already had aging tokens, you're going to lose them. So the rest of the cards are going to be the units themselves. And this is what you'll be drafting each round. So most units will give you some type of combat score, which obviously you're using when you're fighting a war with your neighbor, which will be this number here. But only the units in your front row will actually participate in the combat unless they have a special ability that allows them to do otherwise. For instance, there's archers in here that specifically say they contribute to a war from the back row. You have a name and how much it costs to put it out, and then over here it tells you its rarity. So there's only 2 of these in the deck. It's combat strength, and then what its ability is. So this one gives you a gem for each age token on the adventurer. So the first round you play this is really just going to give you 2 combat power. But the second round, when it has an age token, it's going to give you a gem, and then it's also going to leave play that round, most likely, because it has an aging token on it. There are some ways to get around that. There are some cards that allow you to, for this one, for instance, the healer allows you to prevent one of your units with a single aging token from dying, so they won't leave the game. You have some that have variable strengths. So this one is 2 strength plus 1 for each money that you're going to earn on your income phase. And you always earn at least 2. So this guy is a 4 plus whatever additional money you're getting. You just got, several different types of cards. Some of them give you resources. Some of them are about strength. Some of them give you extra points for winning combat. And really this is just you're drafting these and trying to come up with the best collection for whatever you're trying to do. Whether you're trying to get resources to build buildings, whether you're trying to win your wars, or what have you. And that's it. That's everything you're going to get in a copy of Paper Tales from Stronghold Games.